Flipping heck, I'm needing a trim. Anyway. Spraying. Meant to be all done today. Didn't get. I've not sprayed anything yet. The time is what, 2 o'clock? Sorry about the wind and the noise. Just filling up to go and spray some OSR. How many litres we're on? 2,060 litres. We need another 800 litres and then we're full up. Dad's loading a lorry of peat right there. Done lorry. A&JM done. Wheat's fleeing out. How's the heap looking? Oh, still rather large. We'll still use a chunk for, I don't know how many loads are still to go out there, maybe about 12. Malting barley. Bandit beer right there, which I was hoping would have been done in January malted, but it's not. We'll get there. Last of the seed barley, that's obviously not going now, so that'll end up as feed. Hello from Suffolk in England. What a day. Problems with the sprayer this morning, so I maybe came along the road after cattle about 8:30 to get a start, and yeah, just had a few. Let me just check the level of this tank first. 2,400 litres. I'll show you the problem. So these are the electronic valves which open and shut the nozzles. That little plunger there shifts about 2 or 3 mil, lets the water in, lets the water out. There's a plug in there, that's your socket end, so you plug that in. I'll show you on the boom. See, that's one sitting like that, and the plunger goes in and out and lets spray through that jet. Really wee fragile things. Anyway, I had one that's been playing up the last few days and another one that the O-ring was perished on. So I went to change the one that the O-ring was perished on and managed to break it. They're so finicky. And hazard a guess, put it down below. How much do you think that costs? One of those. I got 3 of them. 2 to change and 1 as a spare. Let me just keep an eye on the levels. 2,640 litres. Also click like if you've not already. So I've been to Dundee and back to get that sorted. Had it all out, washed out all the filters, just get things sorted. Also think the diaphragms are about to go on this machine. And I think we've put a chemical through it that's had a little bit of a chew of some O-rings, because these wee green ones have changed quite a lot this season. £90 each from Earl, E-A-R-L-E, Earl. £8 each from David. Hello from Australia. Right, we must be close to full. I'll tell you how much those are in a minute. 2,780 litres, that will do. Pause, stop. Nozzles, half agitation, PTO off. Going out to spray some OSR of a flowering spray to stop fungal disease. It's worked out pretty well this year. We'll actually get away with 1 spray. Normally we're kind of doing 2 sprays because there's a lot of variation in the OSR crops generally. So your flowering sprays, you kind of want to split it in 2 to catch. You want to be catching it just before the petals start to fall. And if you've got a lot of variation in flowering, you don't catch it. You don't catch all the crop. But this year it's quite even, so we get away with 1 spray. Save some cost and save some time. Would you like to know the price now? £280. Just had 3 of them, so 740 quid. Oh! Needs must. Doesn't work without them. That's where your air operated sprayers have a bit of an advantage over your electronics, because electronics are expensive, air pipes are cheap as chips. Right, am I ready to go? Shit, we're all set up right here. I think we are. Unbelievable, eh? 280 quid. Well, it's a bit quieter in here now. It's absolutely roasting though. Someone says 54.99. Oh, someone guessed £220. You were relatively close. Yeah, flipping diaphragm kit next. The tatties getting planted over the road. Flipping heck, there's some of that machines in that field. Right. Tulips are open right now. And a few people out at the moment. What day is it today? Wednesday. Am I going to use that spare valve for my pulsator? No, not at £280. Would you get a self-propelled sprayer to replace that one? Well, funny you should ask. Look at this. I'll just hide any details I don't want you to see. Actually, none of it. I didn't ask for this, by the way. I was on the way up to Agravista, who deal in Hardy, Schaefer, Bateman and Knight sprayers. I was collecting bits and they knew I was coming, so they printed off me a quote for a brand spanker Bateman, which is the numbers not worth looking at. Well, I don't know. It's a serious bit of money. Don't know what to do sprayer wise. Trailed or self-propelled, I don't know. It's hard to justify self-propelled, but flipping heck, it makes life easy, doesn't it? So this spray, fungal disease in OSR. So what happens is you've got, right now you see the fields of yellow, and those petals of yellow, once it's past full flower, they begin to drop off. And if you've got a bit of OSR, you know, you've got a big long stem, you've got loads of spurs coming off of it, and the petals fall and they jam in between the main stem and the spurs coming off and the leaves, and they lodge. And then they get a bit of dampness in there as well, and it causes fungus and disease. And what we want to do is spray the petals so that when they fall and they lodge in those gaps, it prevents the disease forming, or the fungus, whatever you call it, forming. That's the theory behind it all. So one field here at yard 1, which is definitely just perfect timing to spray, and then 2 fields along the road which are, I think, could do with another few days or even a week till they get sprayed. But I'll go and have a look at one of them in particular after I've sprayed this field, which I would rather have been done by 11 o'clock this morning, but I've lost half a day chasing repairs. There's some folk in the farm shop. Someone's taking a picture of me in the tractor. I'll give you a wee video of all the spuds, the tatties in action. There is unbelievable volume of kit. I think there was 11 tractors yesterday. 4 stone separators. There you go. There is a monster planter. There is 4 stone separators. There is a forklift. There's another planter just behind there. with a ferret tank on the front. There's a ridger McBob or whatever you call it up there. I think they must have shifted some kit to another field. And there's a heap of stains. Oh Jesus, I've got a flap wide open. That was a close one. Stay. Yeah, they make light work. Conditions are good, so they're absolutely flying across the field. They arrived yesterday to start planting. How big's that field? I think there's 60 something acres. Something like that. Will they get finished tonight? Maybe. No hanging about. Oh, this kind person, kind driver has let me through. Very nice. Oh, more spuds getting planted that direction. The viscous fan in this tractor, we'd thrown up fault codes for the last, well, it's been a few weeks now actually, because Agricar have not had the chance, well, every chance they've had to get out to have a look at it, I've been out spraying, or it was getting used when we were sowing. So hopefully after today we'll get Agricar out tomorrow to have a look at the viscous fan faults. The fan is just going a bit quicker than it should be, I think. It sounds like it anyway. Chugging up this hill. The OSR this year looks spectacular. Still quite a bit of time between now and harvest, so once it's in the shed we'll decide whether it was a good crop or not. Oh, it's a beauty of a crop, an absolute corker. Right, I'll give you a wee look at this crop, because it is worth showing off. For once. Look at it, it's a peach. Right to the flipping gateway. You don't often get that. Here, where'd you go? Stay. Stay. Oh, she jumped out. Off she goes. So what the issue, or what we're spraying for here. So there's your yellow flowers. And what, so you can see when the dog's flying past, a few petals coming off now. So petals like that, they go and land and they lodge right in there. Water builds up with moisture in there, and that's where your fungus starts. So I maybe could have been in here a couple of days ago. There's a few petals kicking about, but I'm not I'm not late, I'm just perfect, I would say. The field is so even, like we're hardly getting as even a crop as we have this year in this field specifically. Right, I need to find this dog before I flatten her. Here, here, hi. She goes under the tractor, takes the mick, kick a bit of mud at her and she'll come round here. Yeah, that's it, you ready to go back in? She's lost her collar as well. Put your feet up there, stay there, stay there. Oh, we could look at that all day. Is the fungus guaranteed or is this necessary? Yeah, pretty much guaranteed. You'll get lodging and you'll get fungus build up in those lodges because there's going to be moisture kicking about over the next few weeks, guaranteed. So normally there'll be a bit of variation in here. So we'll do one spray at about 80% flower, and then we'll do another spray 3-4 weeks later to cover the later flowering plants, but we won't go on with as big a hit. So this will get this has got point, where's my sheet gone? Can't remember. I must have left it down at the yard. Anyway, you go on now with a harder, stronger mix, not double the strength of doing it in 2 doses, but maybe 30% more, and then you don't need to go on with a second. So you're saving in chemical cost, you're saving in 2 times the passes, and in general the whole crop being more even, it just suits everything, suits yield at harvest time, because everything is at this, when we spray it off it's all at the same stage as well. You get variation in flowering stages due to if it's stiffer ground or changes in soil types across the ground, if you get slug pressure, flea beetle pressure, pigeon pressure. If you've got bits round about woods where you get more deer and more pigeons, they're going to end up flowering later because they're stunted at the start. Right, what rate are we at? Someone do the maths for me. 2,680 litres divided by 15.8, please. Tell me that number, because my calculator's on my phone right now. 2,680 divided by 15.8. That's a tough one. It's going to be about 172 maybe. $170. Let's get a few more answers just so we know we're right. Not that I don't trust your maths there. Does it kill the fungus or prevent it starting? I'm unsure if it can kill an already grown fungus, but it definitely is preventative. What was it? It was 2,680 litres divided by 15.8. 2,680 divided by 15.8. And that will get me my rate. There you go. Come on. We're going to go with that, guys. 170. It won't be far off of that. 169.6. There you go. Right, so I'll set this at 1.16. Go at 168. And that just gives me a little bit for the ins and outs, double overlaps. Whack that on. Set up my GPS here. Let's just check what battery my phone's got. Oh, good, 30%. Field between the 2 roads next to mains on auto. Just get here's your downside to a trailed sprayer. You flatten all the tram lines a fair bit. Thankfully, it does help you just going to one pass. So if you went in here twice, you're battering all the tram lines 2 times when they're right at flower. Don't forget the overlaps. Yeah, it's pretty accurate though when you put, if I'm putting in, if there's exactly 170 litres per hectare to go on, if I put in 169, it's pretty much spot on by the time you get to the end of the field. Either that means my ins and outs are amazing, or it's spraying at very marginally less the rate than I think it is. More likely the latter. There's no auto shut off or anything. Smashing, we're off to the races. Just keeping an eye on those 2 valves I changed. One was, no, they're both on that side. One was the 5th nozzle and one was, nah, they're both going, which is good. Smashing. 11 more cows to calve. Absolutely stagnant right now. Nothing's shifting. Nothing is calving. Bit frustrating. To be expected, because I had quite a few late calves last year from bought-in cows. So I'll probably put a seeder onto quite a few. A seeder, what's the CIDR? Controlled, something to do with, what's the words for it? Someone will know the definition. Seeder. It's effectively resetting the hormone cycle of the cows so that they get back into heat quicker, so you can then shift any late cows up into your batch. So I'll seeder the last 5 cows, we'll see how they go calving wise. Also could do with some, need about 15 more cows or heifers or something to go to the bull. I'm at 90 now, if I get myself to 105, let's say we have 5 empty. I've also got one that's 15-year-old, she needs to go. There's a sale at Thainston next week of 30 bulling heifers, and then there's quite a few heifers for calves at foot. I don't really want to guess what the prices are going to be though. Astronomical. Yeah. You could go and buy like 15 animals, could end up, hold on, just coming into a corner here. Yeah, 15 animals. If the heifers were calves at foot, it could be 50-60,000. I've not got any of my own replacements yet. Didn't keep any from last year. I'm only starting to keep them now. Tricky one though, because the replacements are worth, if you get your replacements to fat, they're worth £3,000 right now, so you as well just taking them all the way to fat, everything to fat, and then buying in replacements at 4,000 or whatever they're going to cost, because you're going to have to keep those calves in a separate batch for 2 years. There's quite a bit of cost in doing all that versus getting them fat, getting them away, buying replacements. Don't know. Also an interesting one, if you say I've got 100 cows and I'm keeping 10 replacements every year, I've effectively got 90 productive cows producing meat, producing animals that are going to the meat market, and 10 that are just self-replacing all the time. Versus if I have 100 cows and I buy in replacements, I've kind of got 110 cows. So I've got 100 producing, and I'm buying in the replacements. Don't really know what to do. Afternoon, Heather, Danny, many twins this year. We have had 5 or 6 sets. 6 sets so far, with 10 left to calve, of which one of them is definitely scanned with twins, so we've at least one more set to come. But I think we might have another. There's one cow in particular which is like as wide as the tractor. An absolute monster of a thing. So let's say we're going to have 8 sets in 90 cows, so that's, what's that going to be, 9% or something? Which is a bit more normal of a number. A normal number is about 5%, I think, twins. Last year I had 12 sets in 80 cows. That was stupid. Ridiculous. So if you see with the bit of field I'm coming into right now, it's a bit less on than flower. It's a bit of a rubbish bit of field, to be honest, and it's not quite at the stage of the rest of the field, but it's only an acre, so there's no point, for the sake of saving 1 acre of mediocre bit of crop, to hit it with a better spray fungal wise. There's no point in doing a double split for the sake of the 95% of the field. Negotiating a bit of a wet corner right now. Did have it drained a few years ago, but might just leave it in fallow next. You never get much good off of it. Are you going to insure Pegasus for a year? Haven't, as of yet. I don't know, I probably should. Someone let me know what it's going to cost me to insure. It was 4,500. How much is it going to cost for the year to insure? I think I probably should. I mean, probably 80% of issues with bulls come within the first year. How much is that going to set me back? How's the wonky leg calf doing? Yeah, pretty good. It's got Hamish, he's called actually. That calf. It's got a bit of joint tilt, which is inflammation in some joints from an infection of some sort picked up through the navel. It's a bit of a pain once you get it. It's real hard to get it out of them. So he's been getting jagged for quite a while now, and it's still not really subsiding. Hopefully he'll be alright, but yeah, it's just his knuckles on the front are quite a bit swollen up and puffy. But he's like healthy and charging about, so see how he goes. Anyone know what price this bull's going to cost me? What is gate lady's name? Have a guess. Isa. How are the tulips looking? Yeah, good. There is, you can see them from, well, you can't really see them from here. They're quite a distance away. They were, the first weekend they were open, it was actually like, it was mayhem. Basically, a Glasgow kind of social media, Glasgow and Edinburgh social media company got a hold of it, put it on their Instagrams and whatnot, and everyone from Glasgow and Edinburgh came up for the weekend. In the morning on the Saturday, it was nice and colourful. and then boom, by that evening it was just green again, green and brown, zero colour, all the tulips were gone. So it was a bit carnage, but good problem to have, I guess. But now they've been going quite well this year actually. It's helped, the weather's been good. Anyone got me a price on that bull? Come on. How are the bulls doing? Yeah, good. They're all in the field together outside. Just negotiating a corner that I need to pay attention at. Yeah, bulls are getting on fine. Chucked them all into. There's quite a wee field they're in all together right now, and yeah, they had a little bit of a tussle, a scrap the first afternoon, but they're all right now. No injuries, touch wood. Feet seem good. I've got them out a bit earlier than last year, so they're getting moving, fitter. Their hoofs will be hardening up. Fingers crossed for better results in my bulls this year. They're just going out in, what's the date today? 22nd, 23rd? They're going out in a week with cows. Jesus. Comes around quick. To ensure that you don't have to clean the point at the... Sorry, I'm just moving at the moment, 2 seconds. Is someone suggesting I get sheep? If so, terrible idea. To ensure that you don't have to clean the pond at the farm shop, why don't you put a few sheep on there 2 or 3 times a year? In the pond? What does that mean? Ah. The GPS isn't lined up right. Oh, these are not the right tram lines. Oh, sure. I've jumped onto a set of tram lines here and they're shooting me off in that direction. So I'm not on the right tram lines here. 2023 tram line is going to be in the right direction. Let's start this again. Right, let's remark set to current. Right, let's try that. Hopefully these are better. Oh, is that taking me that way a little bit as well? I think. Yeah, we're a little bit skew if. I'll just steer it up to the top end and see how far offline I am at the top. Any egg producers that have put up a shed in the last few years, please get in touch. I need some advice. I have a lot of questions. We're needing to revamp our current egg setup, so get in touch. My email is my name, Crawford3425@gmail.com. Fire me an email, please. Right, these tram lines are fine, but I've marked them in the wrong spot. Yeah, eggs, hens, it's a thing we need to sort out. Project. Right, there we go, we're all set up now. We're going the right direction. There you go, there's the tulips. Down there. Also, see that castle? If it will hold still, it's for sale. Anyone fancying a castle? Looks down on the Empire of Dirt. Looks down on the Empire of Dirt. Anything castle. Get a few cows in there. What do you reckon the number on that Bateman quote is? Again, I did not ask for this, I got given it. Straight in the shredder. Don't think we can justify a new Bateman. The reason he handed me a new Bateman quote because I mentioned keep an eye out for a decent second-hand one. And second-hand one, like a 3-year-old second-hand one, is like there's not that much off the retail price of new. So that's why he handed me a new quote, just to show me how close they were. But even 3-year-old, I don't think it's within justifiable range. I'm quite keen to stick with Agravista, which is who deal with this sprayer, because like the service is good. Steve, who basically runs Agravista up in Dundee, services this and all that. They do Hardy, Schaefer, Bateman, Knight. Anytime I've used them anyway in the last 3-4 years since I've done most of the spraying, give them a phone, like either he's got the answer or he's, yep, I'm coming down the road. He's there very, very quick, so quite like the service we get from them, so there's no complaints. So would like to stick with them. So that ties us to those 4 brands. Same again in Hardy, a Knight, a Schaefer, or a Bateman. Are you still doing sprayer chemical trail? What do you mean? What's that question mean? Let me get back on tram lines and then I can answer your comments. What's that? Are you still doing that sprayer chemical trail? What does that mean? I use them for my Hardy sprayer. Brilliant service and knowledge. Exactly. They are pretty hot at, especially, well, for the Hardy anyway. I couldn't tell you what they're like for the rest of the machines because I wouldn't know. Last year you used one chemical on half the field and another on the other half. Oh, Moravis. Yeah, we did. We did a trial of is it Syngenta product, Moravis? Yeah, it was just a one-time trial. Are we using that product this year? I think. Can't remember. Anyway, no, we're not doing any more trials. Who's the best tractor driver on the farm? Kev. That is an easy answer. It's not me anyway. He's got quite a few more numbers of years of experience, and he spends more hours a year in a tractor. That's why he gets the nice tractor. The nicest. When's that Barnet getting combined? I know, flipping heck. It's been a while. Hack it all off next time I'm clipping cows or calves. Need more grass. Want more cows, so need more grass. I'm tempted to... There's a big field of peat at yard 2, so I put a fence right down the middle. Put half of it into grass. 30 hectares. Game changer. Plenty more space. 1 for keeping heifers, 2 for having more cows. Just need to persuade the arable man, i.e. the boss. And it's quite I got a quote to fence it all. 2 kilometres of fencing. Which soon mounts up. Anyone good with a post chapper? I could buy a chapper and hire someone self-employed to use our tractor and chapper. So I guess we've got we're effectively paying someone to bring their own tractor when we can supply that. Lewis Knox does all our fencing. You know it's going to be a good job though. You can't do everything yourself. Click like if you've not already. Did the boss have a good time in France? I believe so. I believe so. Yeah, a bit of peace and quiet. He's back now, so he's... yeah. Ordering things about. Keeping the ball rolling. Got the ship steadied since he's back. I gave it a wobble. Just let the cows escape onto the fields. You'll soon have more empty fields, I know. Well, I could start using stubbles a bit more. Like say we fenced that. If we did more fencing, we could then use stubbles a bit more just to chuck cattle onto and feed them with. If we do more ammonia straw off of the wheat, and then we could feed a bit of that on some stubbles. If it gets poached and ruined, don't matter. Our ground doesn't really suit doing outdoor calving and it's hard work, but if I want more cows it might have to be an option to consider, or whether you can calve inside and then chuck them out onto a stubble once they're a couple weeks old straight away, free up some space, stagger your calving a little bit more maybe. I'm not sure, I've not quite figured out the best thing to do. I know I'm keen for more cows though, that's what I do know. You got any spud land you would rent for next year? What's the price you're paying? Gavin Bailey rents all our spud ground at the moment. They're just our neighbours right next door, so come up with the money. Generally we let out somewhere between 40 to 60, 70 acres for tatties every year. Peas 30, 40 to 60 acres. Then there's some broccoli going in, 20 acres of broccoli going in this year. That's via Andrew Bain. Did a bit last year and I'm actually quite a fan of it because really low disturbance and and when they're lifting, they're on with one tractor with some boxes mounted on the back. Broccoli's pretty light, so there's not really heavy machinery tracking your ground. So the field's in reasonable condition when you're done. You've got broccoli, what do you call them? Anyway, once they've picked them, they've got all these quite long stalks and whatnot left to clear up. But I spoke to my uncle recently who does who broccoli's grown on his ground, and he just goes over them with the rollers, flattens the lot, and then straight into the plough, takes the skimmers off. So we just need to figure out the best way of doing that. But really low disturbance, field is in good condition after, whereas the tatty is hit or miss. Some years the field's in reasonable condition, sometimes it's a bomb site and you don't get your next crop straight in behind. Ideally you get wheat straight in behind your tatties, but just depending on when they get to them, what the conditions are like when they get to them, you don't always get that in, and then you end up with a spring crop which isn't as valuable as your wheat crop. It messes with your rotation a little bit. Scottish Agronomy did actually a wee thing in their bulletin a few months ago comparing what detriment, hold on, just negotiating a telegraph pole, what detriment tatties can have in terms of financial, basically, over the course of 2 or 3 years by the time you account for loss of potentially a wheat crop moving to a spring crop instead, and your yield losses, versus they basically tallied it up against a few different rent prices to show you if you're getting this rent, then on average the sound just disappeared there, but I need to hang up because Harvey's just phoned me and he's needing a job, I think, because he's finished what he's doing this morning. And you're on my phone right now. What I was saying about the tatties before I go was Scottish Agronomy were basically comparing the potential lost income through putting spuds in your ground, tatties in your ground, potentially losing income from not having a wheat crop or having a reduced yield wheat crop, and putting in a spring crop, whatever. It basically tallied up a few different prices of what rental you'd be getting for your tatties versus the yield loss, and measured them up, whether you were breaking even, making money, or losing money. And yeah, it was just very interesting reading. But anyway, I need to go and phone Harvey back. Cheerio!